Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to the Game Week 3 pod of the FPL Wire. I'm your host, Zoph, and I'm joined by my co hosts, Late Riser and Pras. I know FPL therapy is a Raptor thing, but I think we need to provide some today, Pras.
Yeah, I mean, I just quote tweeted LR's post for this video, and I was like, let's all collectively all join hands and calm down. So that's what we'll try to do. Don't come here for answers, by the way. I have no answers, so let's just talk.
How are you doing, Ella? You're a bit more calm than I've seen you than usual.
Yeah, I mean, things are all right. Yeah, I wrote in the article for Scout last week. Be a sponge, and that's just the mantra at the moment. Just soak in information as you can, and make your calls. I think we sometimes tend to overcomplicate this game, and think about way too many things than we need to. Just calm down, simplify things. If you feel like you're not happy with picks, move them. If you feel like you're happy, stay calm.
How happy are we, though, Pras? How happy are you with your team?
Happy? I mean, happy is a very relative term. I mean, look, see how deep we're getting into this already. I mean, I'm fine with the team, and the problem is that because a lot of picks are doing badly, it's not like you have FOMO to get some other player. At least I don't. Like when I look at my team and I go, okay, I'll wildcard, right? I'm struggling to find five different players that I really, really, really want. You can always make changes on the edges, but I'm struggling because there is no meta at the moment, which may or may not be a good thing. But long-term picks that you have spent all season looking at are still good long-term picks. Not at least that will be my mantra in this episode. That what we decided over 6 weeks that this guy's a good pick because he has good long-term fixtures has not changed because twice you called heads and it turned out to be tails. I mean, that's not how it works.
Or a certain pick misses a penalty.
Right.
I think the biggest impact somebody has had on Pras's team so far has been Chris Cavanier. Actually, the refs. If you're thinking about Game Week 1 and 2, I think they've had the biggest impact on Pras's team so far.
In Game
It's
Week
okay.
1,
I
what
mean,
happened? Game Week 2 was a penalty. What was the first one?
There was a penalty shout on Game Week 1 as well for United.
That was okay. That was a 50-50 call, obviously. That way,
50,
I think.
I'm just bantering off. That's all.
let me give some therapy to my Bruno co-owners. Look, guys, a penalty miss happens and it's not the end of the world. Like, of course, at the time you feel huge rage and you go like, you start calculating, had he got 5 points plus bonus, now he gets -2, it would have been XYZ. It's no different to a chance missed, right? I mean, if you
Yeah.
missed a huge chance, it's the same. What is worse is if your player gets injured, then it changes your transfer paths. It has implications in the future. Penalty miss, you take it and move on, man. It's fine. It's 7 points. It's not the end of the world.
You don't move on. You move 360 degrees, look into the mirror, and then things are fine.
Oh, of course it is.
How about you, Zoff? How are you feeling about the start? Feeling chilled out, relaxed?
Good, man. I think much more calm than I was last week. And I think Chelsea doing well has a lot to do with that. We started off the week early, and I think we were fortunate to own Joao Pedro. I think that has sort of helped stabilize the boat a little bit. And that is strange because if you ask me who I was the most unhappy with in my team going into game week 2, it probably would have been Joao Pedro. And now this is how things turn. We see that Palmer, if he's potentially out, we're talking about Joao Pedro being a potential must have. So things can change so much in one game week, right? And we need to provide that perspective. As we came on today, Pras was saying there's so much news that's still coming in from the transfer window in terms of injuries and fact that even midweek games to play. People are looking to buy Cunha today, but they play Grimsby tomorrow in the this one Carabao Cup. So you never know. I think he might still play a strong lineup, even though because you guys aren't firing yet. He might try to build more cohesion. So everyone just needs to just stay calm a little bit. I know it's tough because we play this game to get points. We're all dopamine addicts. We haven't gotten our shot over the last 2 weeks. So naturally, right, we are craving it.
Yep. All right, let's get into the swing of things and sponsor plugs before that.
Yep.
As always, all the data, and there's a lot of data on this podcast today, is from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. There's still a heavy discount. It's always good value for money. Just need to use the code FFS the wire 5 if you want 5% off. And if you become a member, either scan this QR code or click on the link in the description below because it really helps us. And have you noticed how they keep adding new things to the members area every week? Now I really like the live members data page as well. There's just so much snapshot data as there as well. Zoph already did a video for our members this morning where he has about a 10-15 minute look into the data for the week. Always something that works well with your morning coffee. So I recommend become a member. Or if you want to watch Zoph's video, then sign up with us on the Patreon.
Nicely done. Speaking of the Patreon, is that where we should get started with the Discord dilemmas as we usually do?
Sure.
I mean, let's start also, now that we don't have a nod plug, also to tell people to like the video.
Yes.
LR's 2000 target is very, very pertinent. I think it's really nice if, there's about, if 10% of you like this video, which is essentially we get about 20k views. So 2000 likes is not a lot as a target. So if you're listening to this, watching this, like the video, that's really appreciated. And of course, now we move on to the Discord. And if you want to join our Discord, that is on patreon.com/the FPL Wire, or become a member on YouTube. I got a few DMs over the deadline in the last week or so on people struggling to join via Patreon. If you're struggling, YouTube membership is also an option. Of course, we prefer Patreon for various reasons, but if you're struggling with that, then YouTube membership is also absolutely fine.
Let's give a shout out to some of the top teams. We have Mike Reddy, who's on top with 159 points already. That's so massive. Then you have Richard, 156, Sankalp, who's been on the pod before with 147. And Omri, I think, who was the highest scorer last week with 138. Well done, guys. Big lead.
A lot to catch up on in the
right.
Discord league.
Yeah. I'm far behind.
I'm not going to be the party pooper, but there has to be chips here. There has to be a bench boost and free hit, or even both, I think.
Yep. Even if you're accounting for, let's say, 15 points on the bench boost, that's just a lot to chase.
Exactly. It's points in the bank, right?
Yeah.
No, this was a good free hit week as well, because everybody must have gone Gyökeres, Saka, some might have captain. I mean, it was a good good week to target Arsenal.
Yep.
Let's get started. First up, I think I will keep the questions largely to meta questions over on Discord dilemmas. We start up first one. How do you react to bad starts where a lot of good picks aren't really clicking? How long do you wait and see? And how long before you bite the bullet on a wildcard? Pras, we'll start with you.
I think you have to go through your team and think what are the punts that you don't believe in long term and what is noise. So if I have to take some examples, so with Watkins, I believe long term because his fixtures are good long term. He's a good pick. He's shown over the last 2 seasons. He's outscored Haaland. Not much has changed, and I'm not saying nothing has changed because at Villa, the attack is not clicking. There are some noises, new signings coming in, so it's not completely like nothing has changed. But come on, like Watkins is not gonna not score. So in those cases, you have to stay patient and just go, you know what, it is what it is. He ended up not scoring in the first 2 weeks. There are other cases where you took a little bit of leap of faith on maybe it's a new signing, maybe it's something else, and things have changed what you believed in game week 1. Some may think that is a Wirtz, some may think that is somebody else, but that's upon you. That what you set out, has that changed? And the third one is injuries. I don't think the process to change just based on 2 weeks that you decide now my beliefs have completely transformed because over 2 weeks I've decided that X player is now bad and I thought he's good. That's all I would say. With Wildcard, I've already mentioned, the issue is if you don't have conviction on your team, who do you actually have conviction on? People are out of no option going, okay, I'll go Haaland and Salah, right? Because Saka is injured and Palmer is injured. What about last year when Haaland was not doing well as well? Like Man City didn't have a good game this week. So you see Haaland popping up in teams out of nothing but I have nothing else to put my money in, so I'll get Haaland and Salah. I'm not sure that's the best structure either. So long answer, but I would say look at your team, look at each of those players and see what has changed in 2 weeks.
Hello?
And also, right, one point about what Pras said, if you don't have conviction about the players you're going to get now, then saving a transfer is just a better option because at least that way you're not making a mistake. And the move that you make next week will be will be backed by more information, will be backed by more instinct. That's about it. And you're probably less likely to go wrong if you are not sure. Just save the transfer. FPL's allowed that change in the game for us. And secondly, I think how you assess picks in terms of patience is, I think one of the most important things is, are they getting minutes? So if you're getting impatient about the likes of Wirtz, Bruno, etc., They're getting 80 plus minutes. They're playing for decent teams. They should do points. Understand that a penalty miss is something like a bad outcome. See what their fixtures look in the future. A lot of people, votes already gone down by 0.1 million. He's got Burnley and Everton coming in Game Week 4 and 5, and his minutes are still looking secure. So keep that in mind as a fall safe. Just because the wave is moving this way, you don't need to go that way. And I feel like the wave is always the noisiest Game Week 1 to 4. Things are not settling down and people have not firmed up their minds. Teams have not settled into their rhythm. There's so many dominoes still to fall in the transfer window. So I think right now, maybe a good example of a good pick that isn't clicking maybe would be Jorginho Ruta. Like two things that we learned in terms of new information. First game, 60-65 minutes, not a good thing. You don't like that for a pick. Second thing, manager lies through his face. You don't like that as a thing. So that's the kind of information that maybe you act on, which then says, okay, I park Brighton assets on the side for now.
Yep. Well summarized, guys. I think that's it. As long as the players are getting minutes, you bought them for a reason. They haven't become bad picks overnight, and they just aren't really great options. I think you can move to right now. Not many picks we are convinced about. So we would really recommend you hold on the wild card at least for now.
I mean, you look at people's wildcard drafts now, and it's filled up with players who have done well in the first 2 weeks. Okay, understandable. But there is no guarantee. I mean, I go back to if there's been two tails in the past, there's no guarantee next one is a tails as well. Like, it can be different. So I just wouldn't, especially with transfer window, right? I mean, I see people going, okay, Spurs is legit. I'm going to get Kudus. I'm going to get Richarlison. Like, Solanke could come back in the team. They could sign Savinho. They could sign, Xavi Simons. There's so many changes. Every single pick I see that people are going for, there are risks there as well. You have no wildcard to bail you out if you pull it now and then that doesn't work out.
Just to help people out and to play devil's advocate, if you are pulling the wildcard, I say go with Salah and Haaland, because having the most expensive picks just enables you to be flexible to react to everything else, right? So you can go down to any player, but you can't go up. So don't corner yourself by not going for them. By virtue of having those two, you will have a flexible draft and you can meander your way into the other lower price picks that emerge. That's about it.
Don't spread the cash around too much into your entire 15.
Yep.
That becomes difficult.
It just, not related to this, but I just think we've learned a little bit of meta already, where I own a Munoz and I own a Dorgu, and I'm already thinking, why don't I have a Lacroix? Why don't I have an Anderson? Why don't with Tarkowski, with the exception of our Forest defenders, who maybe have a change of playstyle or because of the opposition they face, all the DEFCON monsters that were expected to be DEFCON monsters are DEFCON monsters, and those points are adding up very, very quickly already in 2 game weeks. So if you're on wildcard, make sure you're not going for the. There was a lot of noise about just because we have Forest defenders and they've not got DEFCON, people like DEFCON is a farce. No, man, DEFCON is so real. Except for Forest defenders, everybody we expected to get DEFCON is DEFCONing. So pay attention to that when you're making your picks, because I think that's just a good pace to go on a wildcard if making transfers, right?
We have this image from Tom Hadley here. So we have about 7 players who have hit DEFCON, I think, in both the matches so far. Van Dijk, Senesi, Lacroix, Vandenberg, Tarko, Byrne, and Delit.
Yeah. There is scope to, just field, let's say, Lacroix, Anderson, maybe Senesi, maybe Tarko every week and not rotate them. Just play them. In the good fixtures, they might get cleans. In the bad fixtures, they might hit DEFCON. You're fine. So that's a good base to build on, in my opinion.
Move on to the next question.
Sure.
It's have the initial few eventful game weeks changed your chip strategy? I think it's really not so much for any of us, although I think, Pras, you were mentioning that a free hit this week could potentially be a viable option if we get news that Palmer is out just for this game week. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's not for my particular team, but if people are set up in a way where they think, okay, they want to keep Palmer, if he's only out for this week, you get to take out, let's say you have lots of Arsenal, Liverpool, and Palmer, right? There are some teams that have that. Not many people have Arsenal, but some did for game week 2. So this could be a week where you free hit. You don't have to have a lot of their picks. You get to, you get to take Palmer out this week and then get them all back for game week 4. So that's one potential idea, and Palmer being out for potentially only a week adds to that. but then you're still getting that team back after the international break. So you have to see how that looks.
LR, I think status quo on the chip strategy.
Yep. Just while Pras has mentioned, I think we should just update our listeners on the Palmer news. Not everybody must have read it. Reliable Chelsea journalist, I think C. Phillips, I think on X,
Simon Phillips.
has Simon Phillips has said that the news is much better than it looked. The scan is better than Cole himself expected. And no decision has been made whether he'll feature, but maybe he might miss this week and probably be back after the international break. To be decided. We'll know later. That's all the news there is in Palmer. So there's still a chance he could feature this weekend even. But it's likelier that he features after the international break.
Yep. He's not pictured in training, and I just want to caution people, even if Maresca says we expect him back after the international break, it's not a guarantee because we play Brentford and that's when the Champions Leagues will also start. So again, you might see him on the bench against Brentford. You might see reduced minutes. It's a muscle injury. It's not an impact injury. So that means that minutes have to be managed now with Champions League now almost every other week. So I think personally, Palmer could potentially be a sell. Obviously, it's very team dependent, and we'll talk about the Palmer topic more so in detail after we get done with these meta dilemmas.
So one thing, while we're talking about chip strategy, two implications of Palmer, whether you keep him or not, are, I mean, it's relevant to me, so it's worth discussing. So one is, if you're on a free hit 6 strategy, and if he's going to miss this game, and he may get limited minutes in the next game, which is Brentford, then it further increases the appeal of free hit 6 because you can get him back for that game week 6 fixture. The second thing you can do is you could potentially sell him and use that money and distribute it around. So let's say you can take Palmer down to somebody, you can take Gue up to somebody. Now you have 8 solid attackers. And if your team is set up in a way where you can then bench boost in the next 2-3 weeks, for example, for my team, Game Week 5 looks fairly interesting. If Strand Larsen is still around, then that is also a viable thing I'm thinking about. So if Game Week 5 I can do Palmer to somebody, then I will have a good squad of 15 players for Game Week 5. So bench boost in that, and then free hit in Game Week 6. These are just thoughts, but they evolve as much as we find out about Cole Palmer. And it's the early kickoff as well.
Yeah, and if you're new to this podcast, this is what we essentially like to do. We don't talk to each other before the podcast either. So we sort of brainstorm and listen to each other's ideas, and we throw out ideas, and then you can absorb the ideas that you like the most. That's it.
Next question. What extent of injuries or minutes doubts in your team would take to force you to make 1 or 2 moves? Most will have 2+ combination of Palmer, Saka, Nuri, Rutter, etc. From Mig. Ella, I think you were mentioning Rutter. He's a good example. But I think if, like, for example, you have Saka, right? Saka is an obvious sell. Nuri also, we realize, is an obvious sell. At this point, right, I think how much money can we even carry? Like, can you afford Palmer to miss 2 weeks this early when there are other options available? Pras?
You can. I mean, remember the discussion we had earlier on DEFCON and all the other things? Like, let's say you have Palmer, right? And you have other problems and you don't want to sell him. And because of that, you have to play a DEFCON monster in a tough fixture.
Like
Anderson is a good example.
Esteve or a Rodon or an Anderson away to Chelsea. Yep.
Anderson away to Chelsea. You can play them. Like, if you wanted to keep it, like, you have to assess which is a long-term fire versus which is a short-term fire. Turi, we don't know how long he's out for. Maybe let's say he's out longer. I think your list made sense. Like, if you have Saka, he needs to go because he's out 4-5 weeks. At least that's been reported by BBC. With Rutter, we'll see. But if you don't believe the manager, then what do you even know? So at least wait for the Carabao Cup game. If he's on the bench, at least that's a hint. Or if he starts, even better. So I mean, it's such a case by case that it's very hard to give one answer. But I would say use your bench as well. Don't worry. This year, for me, Anderson has a floor of 3 points away to Chelsea. Like, this is how much DEFCON he's creating in most games, and he's not going to have a lot of the ball. So think about that as well. You don't have to make a transfer.
But the 11-11 was insane for Anderson owners, man.
Yeah.
That's just like so much teasing.
Yeah, oh, that's the other Anderson. Yeah.
That's the other one.
Yeah. I just want to add to this thing. I think an important criteria this week is if you don't fancy Salah captain versus Arsenal, for example. A lot of people are looking at a United pick as a captaincy option. If you feel like you want to do that, I don't mind it because captaincy is still an important feature to be considered. That's all.
I think this is a more specific question. How secure are Richarlison's minutes after Solanke comes back? I'll take it, this one, but they're not very secure at all. I think after that, you're just guessing pretty much every week, right, on who's going to be the starting center forward once Champions League starts.
It's a little bit like Jimenez and Muniz, two good players, not much right now to put a difference between them. And a lot of that is performance dependent. If Solanke has a poor half, Richarlison comes in. So if Richarlison has a poor half, Solanke comes in. Neither are picks just because of each other.
Agree, Pras?
Yeah, I just don't think it's worth it. Like there's other strikers of
But
that
has your position on
in that
Solanke
bracket.
changed a little bit, Pras? I think earlier you were very convinced on
I
his
mean,
minutes, but I think now that goalpost has also shifted a little bit. Even if you see Solanke starts, as long as Richarlison is fit, you can't guarantee the minutes there anymore.
no. I mean, look, this is what form does, right? We sometimes talk about form. Form brings minutes. So if Richarlison keeps scoring, Thomas Frank's not going to drop him, right? He even one reporter even asked him, and he said, "Yeah, it's right now Richarlison is starting, and Solanke will compete with him, and he's not going to say anything different." That's what good form does. Once Europe starts, everything is out in the open again. Like I don't understand why you would pick one until there's a clear favorite, and right now, based on what we know at the moment, there is no clear favorite.
Next question relates to the team primarily without Haaland or Salah. So they're asking whether now that Palmer and Saka are also injured, should they at least bring in one of them? And I think the answer is yes. LR, agree?
100%. Definitely need to bring in one of them because both are prominent captaincy options this week onwards. So you need to get in one of them, I reckon.
Which one of them, Pras?
I'm still on Salah, man. Like he's shown you in 2 game weeks that he has had a rubbish game and come away with returns in both the games. People who don't own him will say lucky, jammy, this guy. You put the guy on the pitch on the 99th minute is when he got the assist.
Yes.
And there is a higher chance of him doing well. That's just how it is. You're getting from the best attacking team in the league a guy who's playing every single minute. He is on penalties. He's selfish. He's greedy. I don't like he's why wouldn't you have him in your team? Okay, this price comes into it, but if Saka's injured, Palmer's injured, why won't you have Salah?
Agree. We'll talk about the
I just
enabling
think
mids.
one way to look at it also would be, let's say, if you have a United attacker for this week, then I would maybe go Salah. But if you have better captaincy options, if you don't have a captaincy option this week, then I think Haaland is a very good captaincy option because of the matchup. Because I think Brighton is just a good matchup for Haaland as well. So you can also look at the future and assess where you're going to need captains and which your team is not covering, and maybe go that way as well.
Next one relates to price rises. How important are prices fluctuations and need for team value this year? Do you try to catch them early or do continue to collect info and transfer still post international window and sort of mini wildcard with 4 to 5 transfers? And a lot of people on the Discord are panicking. We have Cunha who's potentially rising. We had Wirtz who dropped yesterday. Palmer might also drop in a couple of days. I think in general, you have to wait for these midweek games, right? The teams that are not in Europe are playing midweek. You might see players get injured. You might see news over the transfer window. I guess leave it till as late as possible. Still has to be the mantra, Pras.
Yeah, it's the same discussion every year, man. Like if you can carefully farm team value, then you should do it. But let's take Cunha's example, right? Cunha's rising. Are you going to have Cunha for 20 weeks? Not really. A lot of people are looking at Cunha for a short term, 2-3 week kind of thing where you can get him for this week and then maybe game week 7 and then that's it. Maybe he rises once. You get him at 8.1, you sell him at 8.1. Or ECVCs become 8.2. It's 0.1 in team value. We should not worry about that. Wirtz is dropping 0.1. If he does well against Burnley, people will buy him. He'll come back up. You'll get your sale value back. So it's not like you've lost money forever and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm in that wild card. And then let's assume that has also happened, that you're off to a bad start. You've lost a little bit of team value. Fair enough, man. In the future, instead of Bruno Fernandes, you'll get somebody else. Like it is, it's not like having good team value guarantees you to do well. It gives you a little bit higher probability of doing well. But I think there needs to be a little bit of balance. And like people were doing transfers on Friday evening. I remember there was this wave of Palmer, Watkins to Haaland or whatever.
Anderson,
Now
yeah.
nobody's talking. Yeah, nobody's talking about it. So, like, what is optimal or what is right for your team also changes. Tomorrow, Stan Larson goes to Newcastle and they sign nobody else. I think he's a fantastic pick. But at the same time, he goes to Newcastle and they also sign Vissa. He's a rubbish pick. So we are working in a scenario in the FPL world where certain picks could be essential versus absolutely rubbish in the same, in the same scenario. So I just think wait, and it's okay if you lose a little team value. It's not the end of the world. Everybody or a lot of people are in the same boat. Stop comparing team value this early. But I also want to say farm it if you can. If by tomorrow Man United has played, Cunha is rising, Cunha has not risen yet, do your early transfer. It's not the end of the world. But it's a balance, and you can't give somebody the same advice.
Yeah, like just one thing I'll add as well. Like I'm looking to maybe make the move today, because Palmer might drop as well, right? Now,
Palmer is not
what
projected to
might
drop today, though. Palmer is still a couple of days away from the projection.
just adding some context to the scenario. Let's say if you've got a couple of squad options to cover in case somebody else gets injured playing Thursday, then it's fine maybe if you want to do it, but just understand that it's always risky. That's all.
And it's also annoying because let's say now you have to pay 8.1 for Cunha, you're effectively playing 8.5. Because that dude is eating up now the additional 0.4 of your budget, right? So that's also, I can understand a reason for people wanting to go early.
I don't know. You can also sell him for 8.1, and right now you're not making two moves, right?
No, right,
Unless you're
but
saying I
the
want.
point I was making is that effectively if you buy him for 8.1, you're blocking up another 0.5, right? In case you make a
If
need
you're
to make
using the
another
second transfer.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what's annoying. So I do understand that bit of it. Right.
Like I would say maybe if you're using it up, make sure you're saving the second transfer just for a worst case scenario.
I'd agree with that. Should we move on,
Yeah.
guys? That's the dilemmas all covered.
Yes.
We need to talk Palmer replacements. Potential replacements.
If
Let's
at
say we
all.
may not. We need to. Yes, I realize that. But
We need
let's
to
say,
talk
let's put
Palmer.
it Saka.
We need
Let's
to-
put Saka replacements. It's much easier.
Yeah, Saka replacements and what to do with Palmer. I think that's the good way to move it. I think Saka's a sell, just given the fixtures and given the timeline. I think he's a fairly comfortable sell. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Saka is a
And-
sell, yeah.
And how do you feel about Palmer?
Now,
I've
like
been thinking about it.
I mentioned earlier, man, I just don't think you can have faith in Palmer even starting right after the international break. Even if Maresca says we expect him to be back, the fixture congestion is happening. I think it's just too many opportunities you're passing up by holding on to a 10.5 mid over there. Because the ceiling is there in the United fixture this week, despite how poor you guys have been. Do you agree?
This week, yeah. I mean, Man United is as good as any other pick this week.
I mean, it's different
but then you have
because
to have
let's say you own Bruno. For somebody like me who doesn't have any Manchester United attacker, and Palmer's the only way I can get there with one transfer. Well, there's Wirtz also. But Palmer right now just seems like the easiest way out, right? And I'm not opposed to even selling him for 1 week. I don't mind selling him, and if he's confirmed back, we know that we get some sort of league that he is starting against Brentford. I'll reverse the transfer. I think it's worth that.
I don't even know if you need to reverse a transfer. If you can go to the fixture ticker, I've been thinking about this. Just something to think about, right? Now, game week 6 is when we'll probably want Erling Haaland in the picture because he plays Burnley at home. Now, in case you're not free hitting like Pras is in game week 6, then you need to start shaving off some money from your expensive picks to enable, let's say, Watkins to Haaland move or a Gyökeres to Haaland move or something of that sort in the future. Then, in that sort of scenario, starting to shave off 2 million here and there isn't the worst case scenario because yes, Palmer's got decent fixtures in game week 4 and 5. He's got Brentford away, United, Brighton. Now the money fixture is game week 6, Brighton at home. Remember last year he went berserk and he likes to play against teams that play. That said, the standout captaincy option that week is Haaland. The standout captaincy options in 4 and 5 is Salah. So you don't need to immediately rush him back because you've got captaincy options in 4, 5 and 6 covered. So there is reasoning to sell Palmer if he looks like he's going out this week, just so that you can get yourself a captaincy option with a high ceiling this week. So just wanted to add that to your thinking.
Let's look at the projections for some of the replacements over the next 6 weeks. Salah obviously on top. Let's talk Manchester United a little bit, guys. And I think the needle from what I have seen now completely as a neutral on Bruno. I'm not saying he's become a bad pick overnight, but in terms of open play goal threat, I can see there's a visible difference from his touches in the box. Plus, I know he still has his roots to points. He has his set pieces, which he has lost a little bit. I saw Boomo take a corner, take a free kick. Has his stock, I think, maybe slightly lowered from preseason?
So preseason, you're including the fact that we found out about DEFCON. So if DEFCON didn't exist, then I don't think he's a pick. Now, I'm not saying you pick him because of DEFCON, but that is another route to points. Like last week, he matched Haaland, right? Even if he missed a penalty. So let's put that aside. In my Solio thing, I've already reduced his goal share. This is preseason. In this, he's showing up as 0.31, as goals per 90. I think that's a little high. I've put him down to 0.19, which reflects the fact that he takes some penalties. 1 goal in 5 games is not that unrealistic. So I think even then, he is the highest point scorer or expected point scorer this week. So all I'm trying to say is his appeal, has his appeal reduced? Of course. Like he's not playing even a minute more recently in the top 10 or in the number 10 position. But I think still, given everything, he's not lost any set pieces to Cunha, by the way. On when it's a right-footed set piece, it's him on the corner, him on the free kick. When it's a left-footed corner set piece, it's Mbumo, and he's taking penalties. So I don't think he's a problem. Like if people don't, we had this chat off before game week 1 started. If people don't believe in him, I don't think anyone needs to convince them that you need to buy them, because what will happen is after 2 blanks they'll start using him as the cash cow or start selling him. Don't buy him. He's not everybody's cup of tea in terms of a pick. Just like Eight Nouri is not everybody's cup of tea, or Reinders is not everybody's cup of tea, or João Pedro. Like we can all have our different styles. I like to have a style where it's a pick where for 8 game weeks I'm not worried about it. He can get two in the next 5 games, and I will not be happy about it, but I'm not going to worry about it because I know he has route to points. I have been a little unlucky or whatever, but I'm okay with it. I'm not going to be asking every single week, where is Bruno playing? What is Bruno doing? I'm happy with that spot, and I'm going to work around the rest of my 14 players because everybody is allowed to score points in different places. He can get lucky some weeks, unlucky some weeks. He's going to be my captain this week. Other people, if they want to go for a short-term pick, who want to use that spot to make gains or to downgrade that spot, go for Cunha, downgrade him later. Don't go for a Man United pick. All of them are right answers. There is no right or wrong answer here. My style of play, one slot is Salah, one slot is Bruno. They don't move until anything changes.
Ella, your thoughts?
I also just think the Fulham game is not the right game to judge Bruno's position. Because we had a poor game outside the first 30 minutes. I thought we weren't able to get the ball to our midfielders. And Fulham are a decent compact defense. They know how to defend well. I think the Burnley game at home will be slightly different in terms of, I think Bruno will be finding himself making those inward runs, etc. a little more than what you saw in the Fulham game, perhaps, I reckon. So that's one case. Second case, we still haven't seen Cunha, Sesko and Bumo play together, and how that looks from where the chances come from and who has the larger open play threat. A lot of the large open play threat that Cunha had was in the first 30 minutes against Fulham, where he was playing striker. And Mount was playing left and Bumo was playing right. How things change once that happens, we don't know yet. So actually, I right now think, I don't want to sit on the fence, I think all three picks offer what they have to at their price. Is Bruno a good pick at 9? Yeah. Can you take him on with either Cunha or Bumo at 8? Yes, in my opinion. Like I tried to think about it. Bruno has a DEFCON monster at DEFCON. Like it's insane the amount of DEFCON he's got. But he might not hit those DEFCON numbers in a home game at Burnley because it's matchup dependent. In case United do hold the possession that they do. Who's the higher ceiling? Perhaps somebody like Cunha, if he plays as a striker again and gets the chances that he did. And he's just a great striker of the ball, right? If he gets 2 or 3 shots, he's as good as Bruno in terms of hitting the ball at the back of the net from far, from close, etc. What does Bumo have? Bumo's also actually quite underrated in the community, I feel, because he's got set pieces from one side. And we are really good at set pieces. If you've not noticed, since I mentioned this quite a few times, since the back end of last season, United are pretty decent on set pieces. We are quite a threat on set pieces. And Bumo's delivery on that side is fantastic. Like, I genuinely feel like we've got a genuine shot of a goal. And the game after Burnley is Chelsea and City. What is our likeliest routes to points going to be in those games? Maybe transition, counter. I think on transition and counter, I think Bumo's probably our most threatening asset. So if you're looking for a slightly longer term view, Bumo's, and you could get lucky with a goal or two, he's still going to be playing close to goal against Burnley. So it's between the three. But in the spirit of not sitting on the fence, I just feel like Cunha has got the it factor, like him factor this early. I feel like it's very likely that he could get involved in the games. That's it. I mean, we were sitting here pre-game week 1 where he was responsible for a lot of the transition of the ball from the middle third to the final third. That hasn't happened yet. He's getting a high volume of chances. I think he's 7 shots so far in the first 2 games, only behind Gordon. So just based on evidence in the first 2 games and with a lot of caution, I'd say Cunha is the one that I prefer as of now. But I think this is so close between the three. I think it might take 2 or 3 weeks to substantiate who might be the right pick. But Cunha is going to have a game where he'll brace just because of how good he is. That potential ceiling is there.
Right, so let's
So
talk about it from. Go ahead, Pras. Make your point.
Let
please.
me just give one other perspective just to add to LR. I agree with everything he's saying. The other wild card is Sesko, right? He's probably going to start Grimsby, and if he starts against Burnley, I'm not saying he himself is a pick. It's a little early to go there. But the issue is if he starts, then firstly Cunha won't play the centre forward or that position which got him a lot of the chances. He'll still get chances. I agree with LR completely. But then what it means is Mount, Amorim really likes Mount this season as well. Mount has been good. He's a good left-sided number 10 as well. I'm not saying Cunha doesn't start, but if Sesko starts, then you could see dynamics where Sesko comes off, Cunha goes to the centre forward at the end of the game, and then Mount comes. So that increases. You want your centre forward in the end of the game, not at the beginning of the game. So for me, that adds to Cunha's appeal a little bit more if Sesko starts. If he doesn't, because in the beginning he'll play off Sesko and then later he'll play centre forward himself, or he should. That's what I think. And Mbumo also a good pick, and completely agree with LR. He's more of a longer term pick if you want it.
Also, just adding to that great point, Pras, Xerxes is just about getting to fitness as well. So maybe he gets those 20 minutes as well. It could be Cunha, it could be Xerxes, because people are wondering why Xerxes is not playing. He entered, it's a bit like McAllister. He joined the camp very late. He was carrying that injury from the end of last season. So he's building his fitness as things stand. So we don't quite yet know when he'll be fully ready or fit yet.
This is why long term Cunha, I don't love as much. This week I really like, but long term, he'll be competing with Mount. For minutes, he'll play 70-75 minutes, and then you'll have Sesko and Xerxes.
I don't agree with the minutes thing.
So who will Mount come on for? Who will Mount come on for?
Mount could come on for Mbumo. Cunha, you're right. He has to come on for one of the two in the 10 positions as well. But I just feel like he's the best player we have. Genuinely, like
you could put Mount as a false nine as well, which takes Cunha up top necessarily.
Yeah, but Xerxes is back, right? I mean, we are basing this on 2 games where there's been a lot of signings, and 2 new players are coming into the mix. So all I'm saying is he's been very impressed with Mount, and I doubt that you'll suddenly start to see Mount not even coming on in the games.
Yeah, but again, talking about the long-term thing, I don't know if Sesko is ready to play against City and Chelsea, for example. So you could actually go into a barrage of games where you might hit Cunha forward in those 2 games also, immediately after the Burnley game as well. So this is actually thinking right now only while we guys are having a pretty cool discussion.
That's what I was going to ask you guys, because the comments he has made about Sesko, he's indicated that now he's not fully ready. Now, it's ideal to give him some minutes against Grimsby tomorrow. Now, I don't think he'll start him against Burnley, because it may not be entirely down to Sesko, but I thought that when he did come on, the team did look a bit worse. And now look at the 2 fixtures after that. It's Man City and Chelsea. These are not games where you throw Sesko into the starting role if he's not really settled in, right?
And he looks far from ready. Anybody who's thinking of a free hit putt on Sesko, I wouldn't recommend it. He doesn't look up to speed with the Premier League yet. I think there'll be an integration phase which might be longer than we anticipate.
Yep. And the reason we are spending a bit more time on Manchester United, the chat is asking why we are doing so with the team now scoring only 1 goal over the opening 2 games, not posting XG numbers, simply because they have the highest projection for goals scored this week. They have the best fixture in terms of captaincy this week. So we need to dedicate some time to that, right? And obviously now if you hold Bruno, he's an easy hold. There's no reason to sell him. But if you're buying new, I think I'm in the same camp as LR is regarding Cunha. I saw an interview he did with Sky Sports. He mentioned about the positions that Amorim wants him to play. He said, Amorim wants me as close to goal as possible, either playing striker or in the number 10 role. So he's not going to be dropping deep necessarily, picking up the ball as much he did at Wolves. He's going to be your primary goal threat. And I think in terms of brace potential, he has that against Burnley, again, against a deep block. And against City and Chelsea, he's going to be, again, your sharp end of the sword on those transitions. In those games, I don't think Bruno is going to be having many penalty box touches at all. And again, if you are patient like Pras, you can hang that, like, that Bruno is just going to be chilling outside the box the whole time. Fine, go for Bruno. But I just can't. If I see Bruno getting no shots, no penalty box touches, I'm going to get impatient. I'm going to want to sell him. So I think it's Cunha for me. But again, that depends very much on your style, right? As an FPL manager.
Yep. I think we also should discuss some other midfield picks as well, because there are people in the market for midfield picks, and there's, like Pras and I were actually talking about, there's actually a flurry of options that are available, but they're all sort of not short picks, but just some names that I've been looking into. In fact, I wrote an article on Scout for the midfield picks today. Pick that if you could go to the fixture ticker. I just want to look at that. Zoph. A pick that I really like as of now, who's up my list at the moment, is Ismaila Sarr. He's got Aston Villa, Sunderland, and West Ham in the next three, which is a very good entry point. He likes to play that Aston Villa game a lot. He's got in the last two games, he's got 4 returns, 3 goals and an assist. And in 5 games against Aston Villa, he's got, I think, 7 goals and 3 assists, which is just ridiculous. Because of the high line that Emery likes to play, the match is sort of tailor-made, where Palace like to sit deep and then they're quick in transition and Sarr is the outlet. Also, just he's playing striker for Palace at the moment. He's playing alongside Mateta as the striker, and that's what's happening. So I just think it's a good entry point for somebody whose minutes look very, very secure. The only thing is they're playing Thursday. If you saw the game against Forest, Palace had no legs in the last 30 minutes, which is why Forest took advantage and scored that goal. So that's the only thing. And they might still not create as much as they did with SA. Just want to throw a couple of names into the ringer that are on my watch list as things stand. A lot of people are talking about Semenyo, and he's an important point of discussion because he's had 4 big chances so far, and he's getting into the. He used to get a lot of chances back in the day, but he's not getting. He's getting a lot more higher volume of big chances this season in the first 2 games as well. So whether that's happenstance or have things changed, we don't know yet. But I do think there's one factor that needs to get into given consideration, and that's Kluivert. Because Kluivert is the guy who tends to occupy the central spaces. Now, what happens when Kluivert comes and how that affects Semenyo's position, we don't quite know yet at the moment. It could be that Semenyo, he's a player who's a good player on an upward trajectory. This could just be his breakthrough season where he goes absolutely nuts and gives us a 15, gives us a boomer season, right? That could very much happen. So one to watch there. Also a good entry point if you're looking at fixtures. So if you could just
Yep. Go back there.
go to the fixtures. Yeah, his entry point is actually really good. He's got Spurs, Brighton, Newcastle, Leeds, Fulham, Palace, Forest. Flurry of decent fixtures. I think you can wait till Game Week 4 if you want to see how Kluivert's doing. And then just a flaky name that keep an eye out on is 2 picks who are very similar in play style, who've got a good run of fixtures, are Jack Grealish and Kudus. Both good performances. I just don't know if they're goal scorers. I feel like their role might be restricted to assisting rather than not scoring, which is why I'm still not there with them as
I don't think they're
picks.
flaky picks though. They're both very nailed
Yeah.
for minutes. They do have the creativity, might not have the goal threat, which I think Kudu still does. Jack not so, because he's playing a bit wider. You have Endai who's coming in more inside, but I think those two, like you mentioned, are great picks. With Semenyo, it helps that you have a center forward who doesn't shoot. Evan Nilsson didn't have a single shot in the box against Wolves. That's ridiculous.
I feel like that might change once Kluivert comes, because he occupies the central spaces. So Semenyo goes wide, and you have Brooks and Semenyo creating. So what happens in terms of dynamic, I don't quite yet know. It feels too early to draw conclusions on Semenyo, at least for me.
In terms of
What do you think,
stats,
Pras?
I think I just want to mention Semenyo's stats, like you mentioned, top of the league for big chances so far, and 1.68 XGI, second only to Haaland. He had, I think, 0.6 or 0.62 this game week, around 1 against Liverpool. Pras, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I mean, I agree with you guys. I just think with Bournemouth, there's so much up in the air with Kluivert coming back and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not for 7.2 million for Semenyo. Like, I would rather get Kluivert when he's back fit if he's starting to get minutes again. So I'm not seeing why I should pay 0.7 more than a Sarr, for example. Sarr is the one that feels most appealing. Again, I keep going back to chip strategy. A lot of these picks depend on chip strategy. Go back to fixtures. Crystal Palace's toughest fixture in the next 6 game weeks is game week 6. So if you get Crystal Palace picks now, then you can avoid that Liverpool fixture, and then you get a very clean run of very nice fixtures until Arsenal in game week 9. So this is why a lot of my thoughts are Sarr, Mateta, Munoz. Like, these are picks I want to get on before Sunderland at home in game week 4, because of, it makes free hit 6 even more appealing. You can just take them out for that Liverpool home game. Not that they don't do well against Liverpool, but
and not
it's
like
just a week.
Liverpool are defending well themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? You're
I know, I
trying to
get the exact
maximize
point.
your
You want the
potential.
ceiling. You
Yeah.
want the ceiling, so I
Yeah.
get that up.
Yeah. But like somebody like Sarr, right? I would love to field him against Liverpool. Exactly the kind of Sarr game that is. And he's done well against them in the past as well. Even for Watford, if I remember correctly. He's got a brace or something of that sort for Watford against Liverpool, if my memory
Yeah.
serves me right. Yeah.
But even Mateta, like if you're talking about Palace in general, I was not so hot on him game week 1 because there was this Eze uncertainty, right? And I think we've got now 2 game weeks of having seen Palace without Eze. They're still creating enough chances. If they have legs, then that system still works well. So Mateta guaranteed now on pens is actually also a decent shot.
Yeah. Just while we're discussing these picks, Zoph, do you have a preference between Grealish and Kudus as things stand?
I think I trust Kudus more because I think he's in a better attacking team. Just that's pretty much it. And I think the fixture run for Spurs is just so good in terms of in terms of attacking potential, right? Bournemouth, I think, will always give you opportunities. West Ham, the less said, the better. Brighton, Wolves, Leeds, Villa.
Beautiful fixtures.
From game week 8, 9, 10, maybe then it toughens up a little bit. But right now, minutes look very secure down the right. And I think he has the routes to points with your set pieces. He's even potentially good for DEFCON. We saw that too. So I think my clear preference is Kudus then.
Yeah. How good was it to just see Grealish be Grealish though, man? Just generally so glad to have him back. I think all three of us loved him at Villa, and you could fence that freedom that, okay, he's getting to play with that. And I've just generally been impressed by Everton's window, man, even Dibbling now. So Endai, Dibbling,
and
Dewsbury Hall, Grealish is just generally a good
so many ballers, man. All socks down.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Couple of names because I think just people are looking at midfield. It's a shame that Gordon is injured, man. I think otherwise he'd be on top of all three of our lists. Just a ready-made pick, probably on pens, looking incredible. He was the best player on the pitch before that stupid decision that he made in terms of going. It was such a great game to watch as well. But do you think with the potential injuries, people were asking me about Elanga, is he a pick? I just think with the injuries, Newcastle have gone down. In my opinion, I think you just wait and watch now.
I need to know what's happening with that midfield because that is the engine room. We had, I think, Tonali and Joelinton who were both subbed off with injuries yesterday, in potentially Sher, who suffered. And you have to remember they are in the Champions League. So rotation will happen. They even have, I think, Jacob Murphy, who's been sitting on the bench. He's nursing some sort of injury. Too many players for those wide positions.
All right. And one other team I want to just quickly address is Brentford. We saw, and we said it on the pod, that they might look a different team with Shada, Damsgaard, and Utara. Just add them to your watch list because while they might have a good entry point right now against Sunderland, the fixtures after that are a little difficult. Chelsea, Fulham, United, City, half decent defenses. So you want to maybe not the long-term potential that you want for your Brentford midfielder. But Damsgaard actually could be that pick where he's good at DEFCON. He's on set pieces and playing the number 10 for a Brentford team as well. So if you're looking for a steady pick between Damsgaard and Utara, just park them on the side and watch them in the future. That's all.
Agreed. Like the old Ericsson pick when he was at Brentford for 6 months. Yeah, I get it.
At 6.0, he's interesting because there are very other few options at that bracket. Maybe only Tielemans, who I don't think we really like in this role he's playing right now.
Guys, Douglas Luiz came in at 5 million. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think he'll take penalties off Chris?
I mean, this could be a mistake. Like, I won't go there now, but this could turn out to be a pricing mistake in the future. Don't you think? Like, 6 million was more fair, no?
I think, why would you make him more expensive than Anderson?
Okay, 5.5 then. Like, why would you make him less?
That is a good question.
If he's on penalties, game breaker potential.
And even if he's on corners, even if he's on taking set pieces, because he loves a direct goal from a corner.
Yeah. So one to monitor for sure. Also, Endoy, man. We spoke about how he caught a ride during preseason. He's managed a goal and assist in the first 2 games, and generally just that pass. I don't know if he intended to pass it to Hudson-Odoi, but just a great line-breaking pass, and he's been good in the first 2 games.
Forrest has actually scored in the last 8 away fixtures. I didn't read that stat prior to the game.
Also, they're playing a little less defensively. I reckon that's why we're not seeing the DEFCON.
I think that honors was given because they haven't scored in the first 5 games in preseason, right? Obviously, the focus then was to create more attacking play. So we saw a bit of that.
And a little bit of the opposition also, right? Brentford were playing with the weakest team they're going to play all season. And then Palace like to sit deep. So, which is exactly what Forest like to do as well.
So let's talk about some of the other midfielders on this list. I think neither of you guys own Rodgers. I do. And I'm strangely comfortable holding him still. I don't really see a reason to sell him. The fixtures are still all right. And I think in the second half, he still got into good positions once Emery put him in that number 10 and not out wide. And I think I trust Emery as a manager. I think he will revert to a more attacking lineup, maybe move Tielemans center mid, maybe get the new guy. I forgot his name, the new winger they signed. Get him on the wing as well. Yeah, Gasson.
Or Malin.
Gasson, maybe go with both. Go with Gasson and Malin. So I think creativity is now going to be the main focus for them. I think I'm okay holding Rodgers. Would I recommend him as a replacement though? Probably not. I think the guys below him, I think Sarr, Kudus, Semenyo, these would be our top replacements if you're not going for the Manchester United mid.
I think let's do our rankings in general if
Yeah.
we're replacing as well. Also with Rodgers, I'll just tell you, I think you only sell him if you have a lot of conviction in who the right replacement around that price bracket is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause
for you.
Yeah, because you mentioned also that as soon as you sell Rodgers, that's when he's going to bang, and that's completely on my mind.
Yeah.
I like Rodgers as well. I think a Villa double up is good. Like, people will think I'm crazy to say it, but I mean, you look at the fixtures, man. Like, what, you have to have a Villa attacker, if not two. They're about to play Sunderland and Burnley in Game Week 5 and Game Week 7. So sell all of them after Game Week 7 if you want. But I think until then, the fixture run is absolutely great. Why would you not want them?
I'll just say that Game Week 3 and 4 will test the patience of
Yes.
managers because they're
Those are the
pretty
tougher ones.
decent defenses. So, like, if you're going into it, then go all the way. Just like prep yourself for it because it could be frustrating. You actually just need one goal from Rodgers to Watkins or Watkins to Rodgers to just stay calm and like hold your horses. But just wanted to add that. But I'm with you, yeah. Like, even though they've not convinced so far, I have so much belief in Emery as a manager. Like, I feel like he's been there, done that, one of the best managers in Europe in general. He will figure it out. Like, we see them and watch them and feel like, okay, they're playing shit. So is the manager. And that's why he'll change things out.
Let's do the rankings, guys. Pras, you first. Palmer replacements.
See, I wanted to say one more thing about
Saka.
Kudus
Go ahead.
before I get to
Saka.
one more thing about Kudus. I think, as usual, wait for this week because who they sign, Spurs, is going to be very, very crucial to Kudus. If they sign Savinho, then Savinho will play off the right. Kudus could actually play number 10, like a lot of those games behind Richarlison. That becomes incredible. Like Savinho on the right, Johnson on the left, or vice versa. And then you have Kudus playing 10. Great pick. If instead they sign a 10, then Kudus plays on the right. He's still a good pick, but he's not that good a pick, is where I am. So with Kudus, I think there is that caveat. With Semenyo, I already gave a caveat of Kluivert's fitness and how quickly he comes back. So all of them come with a little bit of, if or whatever. But one question before we get to rankings. Do you think there is any world in which Tielemans is a pick or not?
No, not for me. I think they're better picks at even 5.5 or just spent 6.5.
He's not my kind of pick. He might be a pick.
So,
it's just not.
If you tell me he's on penalties, we have confirmed news, then the stock does go up a little bit.
We won't have confirmed news, and they might even sign Asensio. They're linked to it with a loan move to Asensio. So the issue I have, this is more team specific for me, I can't spend more than 6 million if I was to sell Palmer because I also need money to upgrade Van de Ven to Munoz next week. So the idea is that I want to keep that million and a half, and so 6 million is my max of the midfielder that I can replace with him. So then I'm struggling. Then I
So
go
you
down
want
to
to keep
Anderson
some money
territory.
mobile for what purpose? Because you only need 1 million to go from Van der Ven to Munoz, right? And Palmer.
I
the
also
6 million
want
gives-
for sells to Raya. So these are my future moves. So I don't want to overspend in midfield now.
Got it. Sells for Raya, but you
So-
don't need that till much later. I think probably around 7
You'll
is
Game
when
Week
you're looking
7. But when you're free hitting in 6,
Before
you don't
that,
have
you
many
might want to
transfers.
upgrade Guillaume maybe for that bench boost in 5 also. So that I can understand.
Well, that I might do this week.
Interesting. That's right. Rankings, guys. Trust you first.
Like all midfielders?
No, let's talk
What is
about
the
Palmer
ranking?
Saka replacements. I guess you tossed in one
Okay,
United
so
mid in there.
Bruno number 1. After that, take your pick, man. Okay, I would say Man United midfielder number 1. Depends on your preference, on your taste, and your long-term goals or short-term goals. After that, I'm struggling, man. If I say Rodgers, is that going to be controversial?
No. Just go with what you believe. Yeah, it's fine.
I think Rodgers and Sarr are the other two.
Yeah. I think if you are not if you want to indulge in the emotional experience that is United player captaincy, then United player number one, number two Sar for me, and number three Semenyo for me.
I think I'm in the similar boat as you. I think the United mid purely for captaincy this week. If you can look elsewhere, we'll talk about the different captaincy options. There's not much there because even Salah I'm not so convinced about. So Cunha is the United mid for me. After that, probably Sar and Kudus. I'd like to say Semenyo, but he was so frustrating last year, man. And this year, what we saw in that game too just tells you what it's going to be like owning Semenyo. If you can handle that, and if he's again your temperament can do it, I think he's a fine pick as well.
I just want to say that the news I think today was that Ruter could play midweek as well, so he's not like a complete sell, in my opinion. And Welbeck missed a couple of absolute sitters in that game against Everton as well. I have no idea how Everton kept a clean sheet. They shouldn't have kept a clean sheet. Like Brighton had 3 or 4 good chances. So Ruter's just a decent pick as well. And a matchup like City and Bournemouth in the next two is also pretty decent for him. So, I might sell him just because I love Sar, but he's not a bad option as a hold if he's fit.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about words. How is our patience there? LR?
I mean, let's, in the spirit of being controversial, very comfortable hold, man. I just have no problem holding words. I feel like people are jumping the gun a little too much when it comes to words. You're Burnley and Everton next. I want him for those games. Feel like Gakpo and Ekitike are a little bit selfish who are not finding his runs. He's making quite a few of them. And I take the Newcastle game with a pinch of salt. It was a cup final for Newcastle. They had no space. Just not the game that's going to be in game week 3, 4, and 5 as well. I think it'll be a lot less chaotic, a lot calmer. And especially in game weeks 4 and 5, I actually think Wirtz is going to be very useful against deep blocks because Liverpool will have a lot more possession. He's a high volume line breaker. I just see him getting an assist, 2 assists and a goal, spacking one of those hauls in game week 4 or 5. So I feel like he's going to be useful in those deep blocks. And for that reason, I feel like he's a decent hold.
I think your response is going to be similar. Plus, you're going to see out at game week 5, I guess, and then evaluate.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to say I'm not nervous because, again, form brings minutes. And like next week, if Szoboszlai plays in that role, Bradley's back, Wirtz is dropped, you suddenly see another price drop, and then he blanks against Burnley. So it's not that, it's that meme, you're laughing, but you're nervous. So it is a little bit of that case. I'm not selling him before Burnley away and Everton at home in game week 4 and 5. And if he does badly, it is what it is, right? I mean, we took a punt, it didn't work out. It was always going to be this first 5 weeks where he had 3 good fixtures. So he's in the middle of one bad fixture, which was Newcastle away. He has one more not so great fixture, home to Arsenal, and then he has 2 good fixtures. So for me, if I look at it as a fixture block of 3, I will sell him after game week 5, and then we take it from there. So not confident, not 100%, but not selling definitely.
Anything else on the midfielder?
Whoa, how do you feel about Wirtz off?
Similar, just hold till 4 and 5 and then evaluate. And the point you mentioned about deep blocks was exactly what I was going to say. He's never going to have as intense a press on him as he did in game week 1 and 2. Even Bournemouth had a very, very intense pressing side. And against Newcastle, Liverpool had 5 shots with a man advantage for the majority of the game. It's crazy. Newcastle were really up for that one. You can't really judge him on this one. After game week 5, he's potentially on the chopping block. But till then, I don't think he's going anywhere. But a lot also depends on the transfer window for Liverpool. Now, if we see they don't sign a centre forward, then I want Ekitike, man. I don't want Wirtz long term. I want Ekitike, so I might swap around those 2 spots then in game week 4.
Yeah. Trent's twin. They just look the same, man. It's basically Trent with blonde hair.
Trent's actually having a hard time of it at Madrid. But we digress.
Was he dropped off the last game?
Yes.
Not dropped, but rested, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, that's what I remember.
Yeah, man.
Should we move
what
to
a game,
defenders?
though, man. Yesterday was insane. I just enjoyed it as a Premier League spectacle, man. Just good game to watch.
I missed the stoppage time, I was watching the whole time and then I was like, yeah, forget it. Newcastle, now it's done. Newcastle have equalized and I had to leave. So I'm quite gutted to miss the final 10 minutes of extra time.
It was insane. Genuinely insane. That goal that they scored at the end was the only chance that Liverpool had in that half. It's insane.
Yeah. Newcastle are good at home. We know this.
Yeah, the connection with the fans and the team is unreal right now.
And Gordon was on something, man. Genuinely, I thought he was on something. Like the amount he was running was insane in the first half. I'm like, this guy's not stopping. How is he doing it? As a side, enjoyed it.
Move on to the defenders now. I think a lot of people have injuries over there. Let's just cover this one real quick. Now, in terms of the defenders, I think maybe we want to buy for a Nuri, for a Frimpong. I think we mentioned earlier the DEFCON guys we really like. We like Lacroix at 5. We like Tarkowski at 5.5. And I think Munoz got his first attacking return also the last game week. His fixtures also improve now going forward. I think your top 3 defender replacements. LR, I'll ask you first.
Just before that, I'll pose a question to both you guys at the moment, because there are 3 school of thoughts, right? Get your good defenders from the good teams at the moment. Liverpool's defense looks a little wobbly. They'll sort it out when McAllister is there. But they're quite not hitting DEFCON at the rates of your Lacroix and maybe Romero's and
Van Dijk is.
Van Dijk is, but
Hi, Pras.
wobbly defense, which is why he's hitting the DEFCON, right? Where are you at getting good defenders from good teams versus getting these DEFCON monsters who are playing from middling teams? I don't think the good teams will hit DEFCON as often as your Lacroix and Senessis and Andersons, for example, versus attacking defenders. Like, I am feeling like Munoz is going to face a very, very hard time catching up or staying in
because
touch
you got
with
an
Lacroix.
assist from Munoz, but Anderson, I got 4 points. It's effectively just 1 point difference with Anderson just pretty much chilling the whole game.
And I want to have this conversation because a few people are like having a wild card early, right? I just feel like don't ignore these luck. Like the data was there last season, and I think it's played into it. I feel like people are ignoring that thing just because of how Murillo has played out. Everybody else has played out as expected. So don't ignore DEFCON is where I'm at. I think that's just a pretty big meta that you shouldn't ignore.
I mean, go back and listen to our defenders pod. This is for the listeners, obviously. And I think we called it. Like, this is the reason why people don't have Konza in their team. Like, if you're picking a average defender, a 4.5 to a 5 million defender that does not create DEFCON points because of the system they play or his role in the team, they're useless, rubbish. Don't go there this year. No need to touch them. Because you have these mini Tarkowskis like Anderson, who we called game week 1.
Yeah. So my question is then, do you ignore the Cucureras, the Gabriels, and the Ed Nuris of the world for the Lacrosse and save $1 million where you can? Like, what's your opinion there? Or balance it out and have one from each price point?
I think some balance. Obviously, you have to target fixtures. Right now, we're not looking at Arsenal primarily for the fixture run, but am I going to ignore Gabriel from game week 7? Hell no. I'm going to be buying Gabriel even if he doesn't have a single DEFCON across the first 6 games. And I think, Pras, you're going to be similar.
100%. Like, it's a 3-factor equation with clean sheet odds, attacking potential, and DEFCON, and very few defenders will hit them. Get 2. So if you find a space where you get good fixtures and attacking potential, which Gabriel I still qualify as attacking potential, or because his clean sheet odds are so insane when they have good fixtures, then yeah, he qualifies. Porro right now has got good defense, attacking potential. No, not really DEFCON, although some games he can come up with it, but I won't qualify him. But he's hitting 2. Then he's good. I think Munoz is in the same category, LR. Like, if he's getting attacking returns, he's got Sunderland at home next game week. So, not this one, the one after. Then absolutely he's a great pick. He could have a 15-pointer in that game. If you're ticking 2 of the boxes, nobody ticks all 3, then that's it. I think even only Van Dijk ticks all 3, but Liverpool's fixtures are still not there yet.
And his attacking threat is also not that great. Ultimately, he is a centre back.
But I'm just saying that if I was wildcarding today, and then if I'm wildcarding, I'm using my team, say building my team for 15 weeks, so fixtures don't matter as much. I'd throw 3 DEFCON monsters just in there. This easy plays every week. It gives you so much great squad depth. 4-4-2 probably becomes, or 4-5-1 probably becomes the new meta. Like, I would think that way. I think I think people that jump on that bandwagon early might benefit. Those two points add up very quickly.
And they can be useful. Like you saw Rodon also, after conceding 5, he still got 2 points away to Arsenal.
I was so confident I'm not going to have bench issues that I forgot to put Rodon second sub, and I had Guiu first sub, second sub, and Rodon third sub. I got both of them because Palmer and Rooter both didn't play. Yeah.
So again, let's just circle back to the rankings. I think in terms of like the mid-price guys, let's say the 5.5-ish guys, we like Tarkowski a lot now that we've seen the DEFCON potential is very much real. Although the clean sheet this week was very, very jammy, I'd have to say. Go ahead.
Clean sheet's jammy, but he's just going to hit 2 points. Like, what do you care, man? He's just going to hit 4 as a floor. Like,
Exactly.
I don't care. I'm happy with that. So, Tarkowski, I think Lacroix should be in everybody's team. He's insane on DEFCON. Like, he should just be there. Like, I think going Munoz down to Lacroix, I'm saying that would be a good 0.5 million saved. Genuinely think it. Just come around to that.
Yep. It's just the Forest guys who've been disappointing us. That's what we expected from Murillo, but again, might change with a bit of tactics going forward. Apart from that, I think we'd still like the same guys in terms of the DEFCON guys, Anderson, Agbadu. Richards also came a little bit close. He was on 8. Senesi has been very good for them so far as well.
Yeah, so watch that space. They're in the market for Disasi, if I'm not wrong.
From Chelsea.
From Chelsea, just I still think
he'll be a
Senesi's first
backup.
choice.
Yeah, he'll be a backup. Disasi is not that great.
So just looks a great pick at 4.5 million, right? Vanderberg and Senesi both look like decent 4.5 million defenders from decent defenses. So
yeah, to summarize, I think.
But I think when
go ahead.
No, I was just saying when you have 4.5 defenders from Fulham, from Crystal Palace, like these are top 10 teams, then I'm not that interested. I mean, I guess Bournemouth is in that category as well. But below that, I'm less keen. Like Agbadu is also a DEFCON monster, but you still want the odd clean sheet.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want the odd clean sheet as well.
But like Bournemouth and Brentford sort of fit that 8th to 15th bracket for me, where they're capable of clean sheets as well.
That's Brentford, I'm on the fence, but Bournemouth, yes.
Yeah.
Move on to the forwards. People are also getting a bit impatient over here with our forward line. I think apart from Pedro, there hasn't been much over there. And I guess maybe Ekitike, who's really been firing apart. Who else do you guys like on this list? Because Bowen owners are getting a bit twitchy.
Yeah. If you're going Bowen down, just go João Pedro, I reckon. Genuinely, because there's nobody else who's secure at the moment. Like the only secure pick who's away from transfer rumors at the moment that I like in a 7.5 million bracket, I think Wood and Mateta. But with Wood, I worry about the number of players. I worry about maybe having a change of manager. And I worry about how they're going to deal with Europe. I think minutes might start dwindling pretty soon. So Mateta feels like a safer pick at that point. And if you're going lower, then Thiago is the one that stands out to me as a pick. But again, you're still worried. Is Vissa going to stay or not? We'll know who the right picks are after Sunday, unfortunately.
That's what it is. I think that's a good summary with the forwards. You just have to wait it out a little bit. But let's spend some time on João Pedro, the man on our thumbnail. And Pras, has the needle shifted a little bit now? And let's assume that the information we get is that Palmer is short term. Obviously, if it's long term, then João Pedro's stock skyrockets. But let's say we get the news Maresca said, I expect Palmer back after the international break. Where are you on João Pedro? Things have changed a little bit though, right? Because we've seen him now playing that number 10 role. Now that we've seen he can play alongside Delap. And we can see that him shifting Palmer out to the right, which was the intention on Friday night.
Fair enough, if that's the case, but I still have him down as 70, 80. Like, I don't think if Palmer started that he would get 90 minutes. I'm not going to hate on João Pedro, man. Like, he's a really good pick. He's playing striker for Chelsea or number 10 for Chelsea. But my long-term concerns were still when Champions League starts, you don't know if he's starting every single game. If there's a competing striker who's taking penalties and starting every single game, then I will prefer him. And that hasn't changed as such. If Palmer is out long-term, he's playing number 10 on penalties. He becomes the best striker in the game. So it's dependent on Palmer's injury. And if Palmer is out 1 week, I'll be picking Mateta over him. And not because I think, he has less potential than Mateta. I just think with Mateta, I don't need to worry for 7 weeks. With João Pedro, maybe in 5-6 weeks. Again, it's a playing style thing. So in 5-6 weeks, I don't want to worry about a cameo or whatever when I'm thinking about bench boost and stuff. I just want a guy who I know will take penalties.
LR, Gyökeres tempt you at all? The fixtures coming up for Arsenal, not great. But that being said, right, they're also not that bad. We look at them now. Liverpool struggle a little bit defensively. Forest and Man City are both at the Emirates. Newcastle away, not great. And from 7, it just gets really, really nice. Now, with Havertz being out, I guess the minutes are a bit more secure. We've seen with penalties also now. They're more or less confirmed with Saka being out. Where are you on Gyökeres?
If I was going Palmer down, changing Watkins, I'd just get Haaland over Gyökeres at the moment. That's just how I feel about.
I still want to wait for Ekitike, man.
Yeah, but like if you are making the move and let's say you're acting on the Palmer information and you're going Watkins up to a striker, I don't think there's going to be much difference between Watkins and Gyökeres in the next four. And Gyökeres isn't a captaincy option. The great entry point, kudos to those who went there for Gyökeres, was last week. Now, not this week. Now you wait till the fixtures become better in Game Week 7, in my opinion. It's just not because the fixture is gone, also because one of their best players might be injured for 1 or 2 weeks as well, which takes away Arsenal's attacking. I'm talking about Saka, which takes away Arsenal's attacking impetus down as well, quite considerably. So if you're looking for an Arsenal attacker, buy the defenders.
And also, before we go any further, we have around 1,500 of you guys watching us in the chat. So please hit that like button and do subscribe. It costs nothing. You'll get all our latest videos on your feed. We'll try to answer the comments within the first few hours. So remember to hit the bell icon as well. But
What do
yeah,
you think about people that want to shift things around and move for Haaland right now? I'm not against it if people want to do it. I think people will probably want Haaland in Game Week 6 anyway, and in case they're not free hitting. So because I love the Brighton matchup for Haaland. Like
and Manchester United as well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah. So if you want to do it, fair enough, man. He's just a good captaincy option and could have double returned easily in that game against Spurs. So
I came very close to actually doing that move on Friday night. But the thing is with Anderson, right? There are a few things that worried me. Now in 5.5 in that bracket, I didn't really necessarily want to go for KDH. Because as we saw now, he's nowhere near the talisman in that team. You have Grealish and these are all better options. I didn't want to go for a stack because Leeds, how many goals they're going to score from open play? He's not getting the shots in the box. With Anderson, the manager might change. With Douglas Luiz, his role might change. He might lose set pieces. So if you're bringing that 5.5 guy as a make weight for Haaland, he's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. And I'm not just confident that I can find that guy right now. I might be able to find a little bit in the future if I go up to 6.5. Now, let's say you can bring in a Kudus and a Haaland. I think that's significantly better than an Anderson and Haaland, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
And I think a Palmer down this week sort of facilitates that move in Game Week 4 when I have more clarity on the transfer window as well. Now, let's say if Villa signed Jackson, that lowers Watkins' stock for me significantly, right?
Yeah, but like to play devil's advocate, Haaland's captaincy game substantially better than is this one. Like, do I trust Haaland as a captain over any of the United mids comfortably? Genuinely comfortably. It's just, this is the game if you want the captaincy. So if people want to do it, do it.
Anything else on the forwards, guys?
Be patient with Watkins otherwise. I would just want to add that. He might test your patience in 3 and 4, but 5, 6, 7 will pay it off.
Cool. I think we've covered more or less everything else in the agenda. Should we move on to captaincy?
Yeah, sure.
This is really the big one. As we mentioned, United are right on top. Spurs in second, but not many captaincy options over there. With Chelsea, do you think Joao Pedro is an option if you get news that Palmer is out?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, he could be on pens. He'll be on pens, right?
Very,
If
very,
Palmer's
very
He'll
likely.
be on pens.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
He'll be on
But
pens.
then becomes a captaincy option. But I have a problem captaining a player against Fulham. There are these 3 or 4 teams that are capable of just shutting opposition out, who have a very decent defense. And Fulham is one of them. Like, he's Joe Pesci, right? Like, could I see like Palace, Fulham, Forest? I don't like my captains playing these teams.
Same boat, man. I much prefer the Haaland pick, obviously, but again, not.
I can't believe I'm pushing Joao Pedro captaincy and you guys are not considering it. He's going to be on penalties. He probably played 10, which is suited to Joao Pedro, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously contingent on Palmer being out. Like,
I think it's very likely at this point that Palmer is out for Game Week 3, at least.
Can I get my rant out of the way, please, at least?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I didn't do. I held back for an hour. I think so unlucky, man. Like, I was quietly confident. I told you on the site for 2-3 days, let people go, Salah. I'm feeling so good about the Palmer captaincy. This is an explosion game. And going back to last season, I'm fairly good reading Palmer's explosion games. I just know that the difference in quality of opposition. A lot of people were shitting on me saying that he could have not returned excellent. No, man. Palmer would have bullied and bulldozed this West Ham defense. I have absolutely no doubt in my bones about that.
I mean, you must have got a full-on boner when you saw Palmer out on the right, especially with Gusto playing, right?
And with Delap, I wanted that stretching of the defense so that Palmer just has space. He would have so much space to do whatever the hell he wants to, man. But I wouldn't say it's the worst outcome because Salah didn't blank and I got a Poro clean sheet off the bench as well. But just wanted a little bit of.
But you guys have different views on where Palmer would have played, because when we were chatting LR before the deadline, you thought Palmer would play central, João Pedro would play left, and Neto
Yeah.
would play right.
Yeah,
Zoph
but-
thinks Palmer would have played right, João
Yeah.
Pedro would have played 10. So,
But I think Palmer would have drifted if he played off the right. I like the fact that he was playing against Diouf. Now, Diouf was a defensive problem and Agad was a defensive problem on that side as well. So the worst case scenario was for Palmer was really, really bad because either he was playing 10 or he was playing right, which I didn't mind at all. So that's the only thing. I thought there was an explosion imminent game. But it is what it is. No complaints. I just wanted to rant once.
My rant is that the people who didn't have João Pedro suffered the most from the Palmer injury.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because João
Agreed.
Pedro became like this key guy who is doing everything. But
And it takes his
is
minutes
what
up
it
for the
is.
future. Like he was the best player on the pitch. He was by far Chelsea's best player in that game.
Yeah, that's his role, man. That's what he was doing at
Yeah.
Brighton, and what makes him
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Look at some of the other captaincy options. We mentioned Haaland, but what about Salah captain, guys? Is he just being written off just because it's Arsenal? I think Salah at home against any opposition is still a very much a captaincy option, Pras.
Yeah, of course. Liverpool are favorites for this game. So you can see here expected goals 1.65. So if they're good for a couple of goals, then who is to say Salah doesn't get one of those? So no, he's not a bad shout at all. People are going there because you want weeks to take on Salah, but there's no week where Salah's a bad shot, especially because they're at Anfield. If this was at the Emirates, I would say okay, don't go there. Arsenal is going to be of that mind where we'll keep the ball, we'll keep it tight, we'll get attacks. Here, I mean, you could still argue that they will play low block and they will say, okay, let's keep it tight. But Liverpool will be at it completely, and their attack is, best in the league at the moment.
Yeah, but he is suffering a little bit without Trent, I think, on that side.
Also, can I just say, like, I think you can take it on. Like, genuinely, just take on the captaincy, be a little creative. Like, if there is, and I won't sing the same song if it was Liverpool versus Man City, because I think that's a much better fixture for Salah than Liverpool versus Arsenal, for example. Like, 2 times in the entire 38-week fixture, you can comfortably or try to take on Salah when he's playing a defense like Arsenal, which is, in all three of our perception, the best defense in the league at the moment. Like, live a little, play it on. Like, I would just urge people to chase the ceiling with an alternate pick this week.
But the spin on that, Ella, I could give you my example now. I'm bringing in a Manchester United player primarily for the captaincy this week. I don't really think they're great options for 4 and 5, for example. Now, do I weigh that up? Now, say maybe I stick it on Salah. I buy somebody who maybe frees up more money for future moves, like a Semenyo, and forego the United bit and maybe compromise a little bit on captaincy this week. So there's a balance.
I
there,
completely understand. Don't go United. To go Pedro. Just like experiment a little is what my message would be. Because you can take on Salah against Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's all.
Arsenal are yet to concede a single big chance across the first 2 matches.
And Salah has not looked like his best version yet either also, right?
Carragher, in fact, criticized him after the game. He said 2 players who have started the season very poorly are Konate and Salah.
Yeah, so that's all.
But again, all it takes is a penalty. And he's a big game player, man. Again, like you said, you can take it on.
That's
But
going
if
to be the case anytime. All it takes is a penalty, applies to Mo Salah anytime. He's capable of return in any game. He's just the best FPL pick in the game. So that's where I am.
I do think Bruno will bounce back in this game. He's a sort of player after missing that penalty. Number one, we should mention that I think we all expect him to remain on penalties. I don't think that's a doubt at all.
Yeah.
No
I
doubt.
do want to say people looking to buy Bruno, do it late on Friday. That's all. Like,
why is that?
I don't trust Saudi rumors. 5 days in the transfer window, let them pass. You don't know what's happening. He doesn't quite naturally fit as a CM in a team. Even if it's 5% of a chance of it happening, if you're buying Bruno this week, wait till Friday to buy him.
Anyway, it's closer to a drop than a rise, man. So it's fine. Just wait anyway, right? Why would you do it?
Yeah.
Because people might be, but the Palmer drop might also happen with that. But Palmer to Cunha is tempting me. I think I am going to wait out that Grimsby fixture though. tomorrow, but I might pull the trigger tonight depending on how close it goes because I'm pretty convinced on the Cunha option. And I think a little bit is definitely heart over head over here. I mentioned this right in the first part of the season. I love the guy, man. Even that touch he took for that Fulham, that first shot, right, which he shot straight at the keeper. Do you remember he scored the same goal for Wolves at Craven Cottage last year?
Yes, same goal.
Pretty
Same
much
goal.
the
I
same.
remember it because I didn't own. I was a Haaland
Same
owner
here,
back then.
same here. I was a Strand Larsen owner, so like, oh.
Yeah. And before that also, he scored a goal from outside the box, absolute worldie, against Fulham for Wolves. So yeah.
Zoph getting a Man United player after 15 months and straight away captaining. That's the spirit.
That'll be yeah. I think it will be a Manchester United captain because I think you guys need this one. But at the same time, let's play devil's advocate a little bit. Burnley are good defensively. We should remind ourselves that the promoted teams this year aren't as bad as last year. Are we sort of underrating the Burnley defense a little bit?
I mean, that's why I'm higher on Bruno, to be honest. There's not going to be a lot of space to run behind.
Yeah, but like Bruno is I think Cunha is the same sort of player that Bruno is. Like he doesn't need a pace. He doesn't run behind. Like he's also as capable of a volley from outside the box as Bruno. I think they're the same skill set of sorts.
It doesn't feel like a 4-0 final to me. It feels more like a 2-0.
Yeah. But like I just think Cunha has got a brace in him in any game. Like you just needs the
even 4 and 5. If you ask me 4 and 5, who's the best United mid? I think it would be Cunha over Bruno. This week I'm a little bit more uncertain.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Wood?
As a captaincy option against West Ham, I'm always wary of a team that's just been on the end of a tonking. A little bit on West Ham, but West Ham looks just so bad. The thing is, what's going to change? They still have the same midfield.
Yeah.
So
is this not also West Ham look like Forest look good, man? Forest look a lot better in attack than people are going there for attack. Like if you don't have a United attacker, take on Salah with a Wood. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think this point of the season is when you can afford to take a punt also. I think maybe you wouldn't do the same thing around game week 25-30, but right now is when you can take a punt.
For sure. All right, I just wanted to do a pledge before we move on to our teams as well. Guys, we absolutely love the crowd that's coming on our Discord.
Hold on, I'll just do it right at the top over here because people just skip to this end in the timestamp. So go now, please.
Just a little pledge. We're loving the crowd flowing into the Discord since a couple of weeks. I'm really enjoying my time on the Discord, to be honest. And we'd love to get to know you guys. We'd love to just hang with you. Even match day is a lot of fun. So get in there and hang with us. And if nothing is a means of supporting us, all our content is primarily free as well. So it's just a way of supporting us as well. It keeps us motivated, keeps us going. And hit the like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. We have a 41,000 subscriber target before international break as well. So if you could just do a couple of button clicks and give a nudge to the algorithm, we'd appreciate it.
First team now, it has got Munoz, Murillo, Dorgo, and Pedro for a very robust defense. Your team, Pras? Ella, let's see you. Go ahead.
So I'm likely to do Palmer to Cunha maybe tonight. I don't know. Might risk things. Let's see. I actually don't need to make a second move. But I feel that good about Sar's entry point against Villa that maybe I do Rutter to Sar and bench Munoz. Because I do think that in terms of the legs from Crystal Palace, they're playing in Europe again, and Villa have a whole week to prepare. So I won't be surprised to see Palace conceding. And I want to just sort of start playing a front foot game a little more, because I always also feel like my intention is to wildcard between game week 6 and 10. So I have a fall safe if things go very south. In a wildcard, I can pull the trigger for anytime soon. So a little more risky plays what I want to start doing. Actually, there's no reason to sell Rutter. I think Rutter has a good matchup against City as well. I think that's the kind of matchup that will suit him, a runner behind City. But I think there's a very little chance I won't want Sar next week as well. And I think then why not just go this week and get the pick that has a good run of 3 fixtures right now. So I'm looking at Palmer and Rutter to Sar and Cunha and bench Munoz.
Do you need to bench Munoz, bro?
Who else would you bench?
I mean, you can't convince me that Munoz is a worse attacking option than Sar.
No, I think Sar is far better an attacking option. I've been watching them closely. I've been watching Palace closely as an
Just
owner.
be wary that Palace play away on Thursday and then they play Sunday.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I'm comfortable benching Munoz, because I don't see the clean.
I think just wait it out and do your Palmer to United mid. Keep the 2 frees for post IB and this whole transfer thing that might happen.
I just believe in the transition game for Sar. I think it suits him. And I mean,
Villa are going to be very attacking because they've not been scoring. So there is going to be space there.
And he's had double return in both his previous games against Villa. And I like to pay attention to this kind of stuff. And it's like he's a good pick because he's got Sunderland and West Ham in 4 and 5 as well. Presumably the best 2 fixtures that you can write for a midfielder at the moment, which is why I'm tempted to move early.
Fair enough if you have conviction in it. Pras, any thoughts?
No, team looks good, man. Like, Jorginho is how much? 6.5 or 6?
Yes.
6.
No, 6.
Oh, you can't do Jorginho to Sar, right?
Yeah, I can't do Jorginho to Sar.
You can't do that as standalone, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also
Reinders owners, great matchup for Reinders this week. Brighton is just the kind of matchup that you like for him as well. So I want to shout that as well. Be patient with him.
Can save and Captain Pedro, you're saying, Pras, or Captain Salah?
Yeah, one of the two. By the way, we haven't talked about Watkins' captaincy.
I mean,
not against Palace.
Not against Palace.
Palace are going to be playing Europe on Thursday.
But they're just good, man. Especially away, they're just a very good defensive outfit. Very good off the ball. Very good structure.
Yeah. He can do well, but like I don't see a ceiling. Like I said, like Palace, Forest, and who else? Fulham. Just not comfortable captaining players against these teams. That's where I am.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I also know this is an aggressive play, but there's only so much I can just like stay back also. And I want to play a little bit FPL as well.
Absolutely, man. It won't put you off that. And Sar's a great pick. Pras, this is you. Can you see it or should I read it out?
No, I can see it. So sells my double Spurs defense, which has become the new Arsenal. Anderson away to Chelsea, but as we've already talked about the fact that, I think he starts from a 2-point head start. So
are you convinced on him over Richards?
No, I was debating, but then, because...
go back to the odds a little bit in terms of clean sheets. Fulham, Palace are significantly higher, I would expect, than Fulham. Where are Palace over here?
Palace are at 18% and
18%.
Fulham are at 12%.
So it's not that much different, actually.
It's not much.
Palace to get a little bit higher, right? That's strange.
Comes down to DEFCON, right?
Yeah, I would go Richards though, Pras. Just trusting the defense more and trusting the Chelsea attack more too.
I'm trusting Villa. I like Villa this week.
Fair enough.
So we'll see. I mean, I just think Anderson is...
Thursday is a thing. I agree.
Yeah, and he's good for DEFCON. So, or better than Richards for DEFCON. And I wanted at the beginning of the season, I wanted to keep that at the back of my mind that, it's not just about the fixture. For these centre-back DEFCON monsters, just play them. So at least that's where I am. Look, a lot comes down to Stan Larsson's injury, or sorry, not injury, but transfer news, right? He could, if the transfer is made in time and they haven't made the other transfer, then I keep him and I get Leeds at home or Leeds away for Newcastle, or he stays and I get Everton at home, or I need to transfer him out. So it depends on him. But let's assume he's not an issue. Then my thought was Palmer down to somebody like a Sar, or that 6 million spot that I was talking about, right? Let's assume that is a 6 million midfielder. Take Gue up to Mateta. And therefore, it becomes like eight attackers, where if Stan Larsson misses out this weekend because of, he's in the middle of his move or whatever, then I have a cover. So that's what I was thinking. And then this team, as it stands, is actually a great bench boost 5 team, if I do those 2 moves. So that was the thinking, where I can get into a bench boost 5, free hit game week 6. I can get Palmer back for game week 6, that Palmer Brighton fixture that LR was talking about. I'll have Palmer then. Game week 6, I keep talking about free hit is because the 3-4 teams you want for that week are Man City. I have 1 Man City. You want Chelsea. I may have 0 Chelsea after this week. Like a lot of people will debate, like I already have Sanchez. I don't even have Sanchez. Spurs. You want to have a lot of Spurs. I have 2 Spurs defenders, but I could get a Kudus. I could get Richarlison if he's still nailed. So that's a good fixture. And Forest also, I don't have a Murillo, I don't have a Wood. So free hit 6 seems quite likely for me, even though it works for some teams, it doesn't work. So if I go down that path, then selling Palmer is not the worst this week. So that's what I'm trying to think. I could also do Palmer and Strand Larson to in a double move. But in that case, I would have to get news that Isak is definitely not joining. So Ekitike becomes interesting. Something like that. It's up in the air, but I'm likely to use both transfers.
Yeah. Ekitike has the potential to become best pick in the game based on Monday. There's just like a small chance that happens.
So tell me again, Pras,
That's
you're
the thing.
planning to one transfer for Palmer down to a 6.0 or 6.5 mid. What's the other transfer you're planning?
Gue up to Mateta.
That
Or
would be for
Strand
the-
Larson up to anybody.
That would be the week after or this week?
No, this week. I'll do it this week.
Do you really need to?
It's the Strand Larson issue, right? If he starts or doesn't start. So again, it comes down to Friday. If he's still dilly-dallying between the move, then I can see him not being in the squad on Saturday.
Also, Pras, can I just say something? When you're calculating your future moves, like, don't worry too much about sells to Raya. Like, that would be my pitch to you. Like, I just don't see a big incremental difference in keepers in general. Like, I especially in a team like Arsenal where the centre backs offer so much more in terms of set piece threat, etc. as well. So just think about that too.
I mean, I could do Sar then. If that is the case, I can just get Sar instead of Palmer.
I like that a lot more for you.
Yeah, but
Definitely
see, the
more
issue is if I get Mateta and Sar, then I've blocked myself out of Munoz because I have Richards as well.
Which is
So
fine.
then
okay.
I have to think.
Which is fine.
Then I have to get
You
Gabriel
can find
instead, I
Defcon
guess. But
monsters at 5.5 instead.
Yeah. Yeah, Munoz's biggest fanboys here telling you it's okay.
no, I
Because
get it.
the
But,
needle is shifted.
Yeah. And in the Mateta
We'll
thing,
see,
I think
we'll
you might be tying up a lot of money unnecessarily in that spot because I'm even okay just fielding Giu because we saw Giu is getting minutes now. There's talk that Isidore might be loaned out, so in which case by game week 5, Giu is just a fine play because his fixture, I think, that week is quite good. I think he's home to Villa.
in Game Week 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is a good game, I think, in terms of your attackers. Villa is still defending quite poorly.
I just think if in Game Week 5 I can get bench boost out of the way, then Wirtz can come back up to Palmer in Game Week 7 or 8 or whatever when he's ready because Palmer's fixtures 9, 10, 11, 12 are incredible.
Right, but I don't want you to tie up money in that Giu spot with your 8 attackers so much. That's the only thing I want you to be wary of.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I mean it's a little open, and this Stan Larson distraction is not welcome at all. Otherwise, I could have just I could just do a couple of simple moves like Palmer to Sar and leave it. Actually, that would be one potential move that I do, and then we take it from there.
Wolves are in trouble if they sell him. They really have no one to replace him and they've left it so late. So I'm pretty confident he'll stay. But if they do offer silly money for him, Wolves might sell.
If they offer 60, 70 million pounds, which is being talked about, like there is a scenario in which Stan Larson is the only striker they get.
Yeah.
So
I think it will happen.
The domino effect from the Isak transfer is going to be massive because you have so many transfers that are just going to move accordingly.
what happens to Vista, what happens to Stan Larson, Isak, Ekitike, all of them are linked.
Even Watkins, to a certain extent, I think he's been linked with Newcastle also.
And we just don't know. We have all these forwards who they'll play for. I mean, more reason to save, right? More reason to not
That's why I like
use
you
up all
guys
the
to
transfers.
use only one transfer. That's what I'm sort of trying to do. Even if it means a slightly suboptimal team this week, it would just be more useful.
You know what my thinking is, though, Zoph? Like, it's very difficult for Sar just not to be a good pick. That's all. Like, I don't think anything is going to happen in the transfer world where Sar's minutes.
Yeah, because honestly,
potential.
I'm not there on the router pick, if you ask me. So I think they're fixing a long-term problem in your squad. With Pras is a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. Also, just can you go back to my team? I want to ask a simple question.
Of course.
Previously, Burnley keepers love a 10-pointer against United. Very capable of that happening. My bench could look like Rodon, Newcastle at home, Dubravka, Munoz, and Guillaume. Bench boost worthy or hold on?
Which I think, hold on. Which week are you talking about again for bench boost?
Now. 3. Instead of Rooter, I will have Munoz. Because I'll have Palmer and Sar.
So ultimately,
it'll be
I don't see a clean sheet for Leeds, to be honest, even without Gordon for Newcastle, even without a forward. Kiyu, don't see him starting. Dubravka, easy fixture, but again, will he keep a clean sheet? Don't really know.
Easy fixture.
Says the Cunha captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Nah,
Go
nah.
to your team. I just wanted to run it by. I think it's a question we need to ask ourselves every week.
Five actually works well for the way we've set our teams up.
Yeah. Go on, Zoph.
I've got Cells in goal. Porro, Rodon, Murillo, Wirtz, currently Salah cap, Reinders, Palmer, Rogers, Joao Pedro, Watkins, Dubravka, Richards, Guiu, and Anderson on the bench. So most likely Palmer to a United mid and roll the other transfer.
Looks good.
Pretty simple.
But set on Rodon over Richards?
I think so, man. Primarily because of A, Newcastle's injuries, and B, something to watch on Saturday evening. I like the DEFCON potential for Rodon also.
Yeah, fair shot. And I like the guy with tattoos and everything. You know, he seems like a fun player to own as well. All right. Before we
go ahead, I'll bring up the super chats.
Before we do the super chats, just quick thing. Quite a few people are on free hit. I think maybe just throw some picks that we could throw in there. If you could go to the fixture image.
Sure.
Quite a few people in the chat.
The fixtures.
Also,
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
This
one thing that people mentioned is Chelsea's the first fixture. So if there's like news on Thursday or Friday that Palmer is in the squad or something, then we could find out on Saturday morning as well, because it's the first fixture.
In the squad doesn't mean a start though. So
yeah, I know. I'm just saying it's the early kickoff.
I get your point.
League new.
Get some sort of league.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the free hit now in terms of fixtures to target. Obviously, you have I think Chelsea, Manchester United, and Spurs. Apart from that, which are the real fixtures you could say are the ones to target this week? Maybe Forest, West Ham?
City, Brighton.
Arab, Sunderland.
Like I would 100% throw Haaland in my team.
Yeah.
Go with triple United. Maybe Pedro. Spurs defender. I don't know about a Spurs defender. Maybe an attacker would be more fun.
Yeah, because Bournemouth you still back them to score, right? I think with Chelsea, you go for Joao Pedro, maybe Cucurella. United, you could maybe punt on one attacker and Dorgu.
2 attackers and 1 defender. You go Bruno plus pick out of Cunha and Bruno.
I'm not sure you need to go that hard necessarily because you're getting Haaland and you're going to captain him. Let's look at the other options, right? What is the opportunity cost? Who are you not owning? Spurs, maybe you go for a Kudus.
Spurs, Kudus.
But even Kudus doesn't feel very high ceiling, does he?
You throw in Chris Wood for sure.
For sure. One defender from Forest at least.
Yeah. That's it, man. That's it. That's why I want to go double United attack. Like, as poor as we've been.
There is scope. Because I don't see the other guys you buy.
Yeah.
Bruno
and
go ahead.
And Watkins, actually, why not? Because of the Thursday, Sunday gap as well. It's the first time you're going to watch football really late on a Sunday. Do you know what time the game is? 11:30 India
11:30. This was actually supposed to be a Friday night game. But because of Palace's conference thing, it got moved to this late.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Let's do the super chats.
We'll go to the super chats. Yeah.
Yes, 1 second. I'll bring those up. So quite a few actually today. From Subhajit, thoughts on free hit? I think we mentioned that already, right?
Yeah. Maybe a Forest midfielder against West Ham. Morgan, Gibbs-White or Endoy if you want to take a chance.
They spread the points around a lot amongst the midfielders. That's the only thing. Subhajit is also asking best 4 defenders and keeper. I think Manchester United and Forest will form the main core of it.
Yeah. And throw some DEFCON guys in there. Like I don't mind Anderson. He's a decent threat on set pieces as well. And hits DEFCON as well.
Anderson?
Not Anderson. Dillit. I'm talking about Dillit. Yeah.
Next one from PC Game Attack. Gakpo and Ekitike are getting more points. Not much is coming through Salah. Is it because how Liverpool are set up? And he's asking Gakpo over Wirtz.
I think Gakpo and Wirtz could both be destroyed as picks if a certain transfer happens until the transfer window. So if you jumped onto them game week 1, good enough, enjoy the points. But whether they will be sustainable long-term picks, we'll only know after Monday.
Yep. There were rumors that Gakpo was benched, in fact, yesterday prior to the game. Next one.
For who?
This one, I think he was playing Szoboszlai then, he was playing Wirtz on the left. But again, it's irrelevant to discuss, right? Because obviously the rumors were false. A very generous super chat from Bird Alatello. I completely butchered that. Thank you. Enjoying the chat. Love the content. If you get around to super chats, would you do RAN, Palmer, and Fulkrug to Semenyo, Watkins, and Cucurella? So that's Nuri, Palmer, Fulkrug. 3 players you could sell. Semenyo, Watkins, Cucurella for -4. I like that.
I would go cheaper.
Cheaper
I
forward,
can't
maybe
go.
go Mateta.
I was wondering if there's a way in which, if he's selling Ait Nouri and Palmer, try funding Haaland, man. It's an opportunity. Get a 4.5 million defender that Defcons and just change your structure
I
up.
mean, it's because he's going with full crook. Full crook to Haaland, you need to raise 8.5 million, bro. 8.5 million is a lot. You have to go Palmer to like a 4.5, Nouri down to a 4.0 to do that. So,
Yeah.
not really happening.
Fair.
But what do
I
you guys
mean,
think
not a
about the move for
proponent of
hit?
hits, but that's not a bad move.
It's a
All
good fix
three. I
for
mean,
long term,
two of
right?
them are injured as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And
Yeah.
Fulkrug just looks like a bad pick right now.
Yeah, that halftime sub is like, the death nail.
Exactly. So I think you get rid of it. It's a good long term move to make. From off the biscuit, looking to wildcard, I have Palmer and Saka injured, KDH, Wirtz, and no Salah. Ooh, bit of trouble. Also have Ekitike. Larson to NUFC just now being reported as agreed. Looks like we might have missed some news, boys.
I've been
Let me
checking.
check.
I don't see it, but
Like it, Pras is
it's
so
gonna
worried.
happen.
Even mid-pod, he's typing Strad Larson, Strad Larson.
Look, Indy has said they're expected to agree a sale. I mean, Indy is now the new GOAT, right? So
Indy is the goat now. This is what we've come to. But what do you think, Pras, in terms of a wild card over here? There's Palmer and Saka injured, KDH, Wirtz, and no Salah. I think you just make a move to get Salah in, man. I don't think you necessarily need to wild card. You get Palmer and Saka, you can easily get Salah in a decent mid in.
exactly, that's what I would say.
Agree, LR?
Yeah.
I mean,
Excellent.
if the Stan Larson move happens today, actually, I don't mind it.
Yeah,
Because
'cause you
then
get
by Friday
clarity.
you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll get clarity if they're signing somebody else. Then you know if you want to sell him or not. If they're not signing somebody else, him playing Leeds for a Newcastle attack where Gordon isn't on the pitch, so he might even take a penalty. Like, I don't mind it. So
Absolutely.
I'm not panicking yet on the Stan Larson thing at all.
No. He's a. If you own him, you just hold and see what happens.
Couple of Wolves fans weren't happy with his performance against Bournemouth. I think Black Wolf had mentioned it looked like his head was elsewhere, so I just hope that's not the case. Ayush is asking, nothing much to ask, just a big up to the channel, super helpful content. And yeah, Ben Watkins, and he's got wood. Well done, Ayush.
Very, very on brand.
Yep. From Long Ranger, Gordon got any chance to have a suspension term reduced? Very,
Not
very
gonna happen.
unlikely. Very unlikely.
They won't even appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, would you sell Saka and Gordon for a hit? Replacement suggestions with nothing in the bank. So he's got about 17.5 million to spend, or 17 million?
United mid plus
17 and a
Sara
half.
Kudus. Take your
Yeah.
pick.
That's pretty much what we discussed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you have to take the hit because both are out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Unless
Vijay-
there is a defender you can play this week and then do it over 2 weeks.
Last super chat, guys. Please don't say it anymore. We'll be wrapping up. This is from Vijay Pras. He thanks us for the show and he asking you to cheer up a little bit.
I'm cheery. How much more do you want me to be cheerful, man? I will shave next time. This is the pod starts at 9 a.m. New York time. So basically I couldn't.
Pras comes in with this whole like Shah Rukh Khan kuch hota hai hair. It goes like, guys, my hair is a mess today.
By the
I
way,
never
did you
did
see
that.
Gyökeres after the penalty?
That's because people
Yeah.
said he spent more time touching his hair.
I loved it. That celebration sent me. That was brilliant. Good job by him.
Good stuff. Good. Guys, let's wrap up.
All right. Thank you, guys. And we will have 3 more videos for you coming in the next 3 days. And we will have a pod next Tuesday as well. So watch out for that as well. Schedule continues as usual. Thanks for being with us. Any last words, boys?
Pras?
Nope. Hoping for heads this time. 2 tails. It's like the Indian Captain Gill. Every time you hope, okay, this toss you should win. So let's hope Game Week 3 is going to be the one.
Fantastic, guys. Do remember to hit that like and subscribe. We will have the team selection videos. I think all of us will be making at least one transfer this week from the looks of it. So do watch out for those. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next week.